Well, howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel. We are here in Plymouth, California for the MVCC, that's Military Vehicle Collectors of California, their annual spring meet. We've been here for a few days, didn't bother filming, setting any of this stuff up or anything, but today we're going to go ahead and we're going to take you guys on a little bit of a tour in private parts of what we've got going on here. I'm set up here in my little camp. Last year I was over in the RV side. This year I decided to dry camp it. So at any rate, come along and hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks. Let's go ahead and get old private parts fired up here. Alright, we're going to let private parts warm up. I got to get a towel and clean off the inside of the windshield here. Yeah, they've got this funny thing down here in California called humidity. We're not real sure what that is in Nevada, but you know, we just got to adjust and deal with it. So we're over here in the fairgrounds dry camping area. And this is where a lot of the vendors like to set up, although, you know, there's quite a few over in the other side as well. As you can see, some of the vehicles that we have here, I mean, we got everything from, you know, Jeeps, M100s. I think that's an M100 trailer back there, you know, to big heavy trucks as well. People will bring their Jeeps here to sell, and there's stuff here to sell. Jeep parts, military, just about anything you can think of. And you know, it's all a good time. I mean, a lot of get a lot of the public that comes in here to see this stuff. We got these guys here, they've got a long trip back to Washington, so they're kind of packing up early. It's still fairly early in the morning, so a lot of guys haven't gotten motivated and up and going yet. But you can see we've got just a little bit of everything here vehicle-wise. This particular year we've got they do a showcase in the arena, which I'll show you when we drive by it. And this year, one of the showcases is going to be for the mules, little M274s over there, which I have brought Chuck's mule up to try to sell. And if it doesn't sell before they have the showcase today, then we'll have Chuck's mule in the showcase. Had a lot of people interested in it, but nobody's bit yet. Now this section down here is where we've got a couple of living history groups that are set up down here. Guys that I knew from back in my reenacting days, which are not 100% over, but they've slowed down quite a bit over the last several years. But yeah, Humvees. Yesterday they had a showcase for the M38 and M38A1 Jeeps, and unfortunately I didn't know what time it was, so I couldn't get over there to film it. We have some veteran groups, and we also got guys that don't check their mirrors before they back up. So that's pretty much it for the fairground side of things. So we're going to go ahead and take a run on over to the RV park and see what we've got happening over there. Like I said, it's still a little early in the morning for some of these guys, especially after a Friday night. But the little town of Plymouth, California really opens the doors for us, and makes this a really fun event. So now, unlike when we had our events at Tower Park over near Lodi, California, it was actually about halfway between Lodi and Rio Vista, California, the RV park here doesn't really group us all into one spot. So we end up kind of spread out, in between, just as we call it, the civilian population. And so, which is honestly, as far as I'm concerned, not a bad thing, because what that does is it, the people that, are here on vacation, we get a chance to interact with them a little bit more and educate them a little bit more about what we do and generate interest, which is, is never a bad thing for this hobby. And this year, for those guys that, because there's a lot of guys that come here that don't have vehicles, or their vehicles are still being worked on, still being restored. They're here to get parts and things, and it's a fairly decent sized area to try to traverse with a fender for a Jeep or something like that. And so they had golf cart rentals, so guys could go ahead and rent golf carts and run around to collect up their treasures. We've got this guy here that's off to the left that he has an absolutely beautiful SAS Jeep, and he has a really neat display of all kinds of, they're totally inert, replica explosive devices and things like that. And it's a history, it's a timeline of you know, most of it British, but it's educational. Like I said, we've got a whole lot of guys here with mules. And what's really wonderful about this is you know, this is a kid-friendly environment, family-friendly environment, and guys come from all over. We got one guy that he and his son came from South Dakota, drove all the way out here to see this. We've got some bigger vendors here that looks like this guy's already packed up and headed home. But you know, we have some fairly big vendors that set up their stuff here. And the nice thing about this is that, you know, all of these guys, I mean, we leave our stuff out on the table, and some of this is fairly high dollar stuff. We leave all this stuff out on the table overnight. You know, a lot of guys, they'll just put a note on the table saying, hey, you know, if you're interested in anything, call me at this number. I'm out, you know, picking or, you know, hunting treasures, whatever. And nobody messes with anything. I have never once heard of an account of somebody, you know, coming up missing something off of their table. And I've been coming out to events, these club events for, well, the first one I went to was in Waterford, California, back in 1992. My son was only a month and a half old. And so now I haven't been to every single one of them since then, but I used to go to the Tower Park one all the time. And that was a lot of fun. And then yeah, you can see there's an awful lot of these mules here. That one belongs to a friend of mine. Today's Saturday. Tomorrow is kind of the pack up and clean out day, but we got some guys that'll pack up a little early, and you know, because I have about a 4-hour drive to get home, and we've got some guys that have got 6 and 8 hour drive to get home. So yeah, there's a guy from Arizona there. it's kind of rough for me because I'm only one person out here doing this, and during the swap meet, time when we got people coming over and things like that, it's hard for me to get away from my table to come out and film a lot of this because I don't have anybody here helping me do this, and so I don't have anybody to watch the table, which I'm not worried, like I said, not worried about anybody stealing anything, but what I do worry about is somebody coming up and seeing something that they want but nobody there and just walking off. And part of the reason why I do this is come to these meetings to sell is to go ahead and make the money so that I can keep private parts maintained. I was able to get a few bits and pieces for him yesterday, and but it's difficult, like I said, to to go ahead and be real active out and about here, filming all this stuff while I'm trying to maintain a booth there. Morning. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get away a little bit, maybe this afternoon, make another run through here. But we will have to see. But this gives you guys a good idea as to what we got going on. So if you're watching this from anywhere, Northern California, Southern California, really anywhere in the western part of the United States. And we do actually end up having some people fly in from overseas. I met a guy from Holland the other day, and so we have people come really literally from all over the world for this. And it is definitely this year it seemed like things were maybe a little bit slower, and the economy, I think, has had a lot to do with that. And it's I know that times are really hard right now. I was really sweating it this year, being able to make this event because of the cost of fuel. I have to, I had to bring 2 vehicles over this year because of the amount of stuff that I had to bring. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put a link to the MVCC's website in the description down below. So look down below in the description for that, and give the site a visit, check it out. To join the club, the membership fees aren't that much, and it's supporting a worthwhile organization. One of the things that I have noticed, and I'm not a overly young guy anymore, is we're having a hard time getting younger people involved with this, and I think it's real important, for the hobby and for the to try to save the history. I think it's real important to get the younger generation involved in this, and So, you know, we have had, you know, quite a few younger kids out and about, but, you know, it's important to get the word out about what we do. And, you know, these things are not overly cheap to restore and maintain. And parts for some of these older vehicles are, you know, becoming harder and harder to come by. But I still think it's a worthwhile tribute to the men and women who used these vehicles, who drove these vehicles in defense of our country. So, you know, this is one of the ways that we can go ahead and honor their memories by going by continuing to keep and maintain these vehicles and keep their memories alive. At any rate, that's pretty much a tour of the whole deal here. Like I said, I'm hopefully I'll be able to get out and make another run around, but if not, that's kind of what we got here. So, all right, folks, we got about 10 more minutes, and then we're going to be heading out to the MULE showcase. We're going to see if old Chuck's mule here will make it over there back. It started having some problems. So any rate, yeah, we'll go ahead and show you some video from the MULE showcase here in just a bit. Folks, I think we've got most of the mules here, so we're going to go on down the line and take a look at what we've got. This guy's kind of looks like he was part of a test of some sort. And maybe a not so very successful test.
Good, so we can like it.
Yep.
I don't think he put wheels on it.
A lot of people have added the second footrest so that they can have a passenger.
Yeah. That is, and a lot of people, including, we did this with, or Chuck did this with his, is they went ahead and put an electric start on them because most of them had a pull start. You can see right there where the pull start used to be.
No. The way I do it, there's a battery in here.
And this one still has the pull start.
Yeah, I like dog on a mule. Yeah.
What do you think, 59? That's what I put on mine. I had no data plate. How many are you? Yeah, they were up to 15. You're not a mule.
How many people have extended their years? Tired of bending over to shift. Buddy, huh? That's what it is. It's so noisy. It doesn't cost here.
Yeah. So the one you have at, where's your place? Where's your camp?
Right where you came and talked to me.
Oh, I thought you said, okay, so that's the one you're selling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How much you ask? 95, and what you like, you want to put it together, the steering's like out of, can it get out of whack? No, I mean.
So there we go. Those are the mules that people have brought over for the showcase. I think that there's maybe one or two more of them running around here, but not everybody brought them over to the showcase. So, but well, Chuck's mule has made it over here and back. It's developing some more engine issues, but. For those of you who are interested in that mule project, in Chuck's mule, we may be seeing a whole lot more of that in the coming months. A friend of mine has committed to buy it if nobody buys it down here. So if he buys it, then I'm going to take it back to the house. And he's going to be feeding me parts for it, and I'll be doing the work and filming it for you guys. So at any rate, that may be the case. We'll see. At any rate, hope you guys enjoyed the mule showcase. So we'll get a little bit more footage a little bit later on today, and then so stick around. Well, folks, we are home from the MVCC meet in Plymouth, California. We just rolled in a few minutes ago. I could not have done this, not in any way, shape, or form, without help from my kid. He really stepped up, and he made a trip when we hauled this stuff down. He made a trip over the mountain, hauling a little trailer and a truckload of stuff. And then came back, home with an empty truck that same day, and then did the same thing this morning. Came over empty, we loaded up and headed on back. And you can see that the van here is pretty full of stuff. Somewhere underneath that huge pile of stuff is a GP small tent, believe it or not. And you can see we took the top off old private parts and got him loaded up with the mule right behind it. So for those of you that are wondering what these little doohickeys are for on the wheels of a mutt, that is what they are for. This is probably one of the better ways to tie down an M151 on your trailer. It works really well. So at any rate, you know, kind of an after action report. The event was not attended quite as heavily as I had expected. And a lot of other guys that were there trying to sell stuff, you know, had expected. But, you know, with the price of fuel and, you know, the price of everything else, I think a lot of people just decided that, you know, they couldn't really afford it. And so they didn't come. And, but despite that, there was still a fairly large turnout, and I got to give props to the volunteers from the MVCC that went through the effort of setting up the camp spots over in the fairgrounds. Now, I did not realize that the camp spots were 20 foot by 30 foot, which fortunately, the camp spot next to mine had not been claimed yet, because so I had to go ahead and get 2 spots, and that was because the tent that I had took up 1 complete spot. A GP small is about a 17-foot diameter tent. So at any rate, Jen, who was the one that was making sure that everybody had their camp spots okay and everything else like that, just absolutely did a wonderful job making sure all of that. And a lot of hard work went into the dinner last night, which, even though feeding was a little slow, it was still awesome. And you know, there were some people that were whining, but you know, those are the people that would whine if you hung them with a new rope. So at any rate, all in all, it was an awesome event. If you guys have ever thought about coming out to something like this, do it. It is worth the effort. I mean, we didn't have a lot of heavy vehicles. We didn't have any tanks or half tracks this year. Like I said, I think fuel cost was part of that. Not just the cost of fuel to run the vehicles, but the cost of fuel to get them transported. But we did have a couple of heavy wreckers, and so, you know, like I said, it was a good time. There were Jeeps and mules. We had a mule showcase, and so there were mules all over everywhere. But at any rate, that's about all I got for an after action report. I want to thank everybody for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. That'll help me continue to do this. And I really like doing it, but you know, it unfortunately it does cost me money for fuel for private parts and maintenance and things like that. Right now my channel is not set up to be monetized anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But you know, share it with your friends and share it with your enemies. I don't care. At any rate, thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.